Good afternoon, well, feel well. This is an exclusive Swipecoin training. My name is Lisa Powell. For those of you that haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, I am one of the leaders here at Wealth Your World. And today we're literally going to focus on the Swipecoin Scalper, right? So this is going to be an intensive training on the Swipecoin Scalper. You guys know we usually touch on it. We usually do a bit of this, bit of that. And the scalper is usually one of the things I do towards the end of the session, and I never have enough time to go all the way through it. So I'm going to spend this session literally breaking down the scalper, how I use it, and hopefully you guys get a few gems out of that as well and can start implementing it as well. All right. So this is going to be an interactive call, guys. I want you guys to ask questions. I want you guys to talk in the chat. So if you're with me, if you're ready to interact, just drop me some 777s, give me that good energy, and we are going to get started. All right, amazing. I see the 777s coming in. So I'm gonna go all the way back to if you are brand new, like you literally just joined, you just registered, you just enrolled yesterday. All right, that's how we're gonna go. So this way we don't miss anything. So I hope that is all good. I feel like that's fair. It means that everybody's going to be on the same playing field. All right. So we're literally going to do this as if you just enrolled yesterday. So the first thing you're going to do, family, is you're going to come in, you're going to sign in using your username, your password into the IM center, right? Into your IM center. Now, this is, I'm talking like so basic, and as we go through you may see things, oh, okay, I haven't done that, or oh, okay, I didn't do that yet. So I'm gonna need you guys to rewind and literally lay back these foundations. So this may be one of the missing pieces of the puzzle that you're missing, that's stopping you from being profitable, that's stopping you from being consistent. All right, so we're going to go all the way through. So the academies, guys, is there for you to learn the terminology. It's there for you to learn the basics of the foundations of trading. All right, so it's really important that you do go through these and you do also have a refresher on them. So I like to go through them every about 6 months, to be honest, just to it just keeps me going, right? It makes me understand, maybe I've missed out on something, maybe there's something that I've forgotten, maybe I've got a disconnect somewhere. So how do you find it? Once you've logged into your academy, you're going to go over here to academies, and you're going to see your DCX pack, right? Now there's two different sections for DCX. There's exchange, and that's your crypto wallet. That's buying and selling the assets, right, of crypto. And then you have leveraged. Your leveraged is your MT4 trading. All right. So guys, when I tell you we're going everywhere today, right? So you're going to go into your leveraged, you're going to go to enroll, and I've literally rewound this all the way back. So it's like we're brand new looking at it. Excuse me. Right. And then it starts really here at 101, learn the basics to trade digital currencies, right? Leverage digital currencies. You're going to get a handbook, and then you're going to go through these mini videos. These are mini series, right? What is trading in Forex? Trading view, buy versus sell. What is a pip? All these things are going to make up your knowledge about the Forex space, about the digital space, right? Because you're going to go onto the go lives a little bit later on, and then they're going to be talking about, okay, this trade is 300 pips. Now, guys, you don't know what you don't know. So if you don't understand what a pip is, then when they're talking about 300 pips, you're like, is that £300? Is it 300p? What is 300 pips, right? So please make sure you take the time. These videos are only like 5 minutes long. All right. So drop me some 111s in the chat if you've been through your 100 series, right? Drop me some 111s in the chat if you've been through your 100 series. If not, please take this weekend to go through your 100 series. Like I say, you can literally get through this thing in like an hour and a half if you sit there solid. When I first joined in 2019, I joined on a Friday. I had watched all of the academy videos by Monday. Like, I was literally so hungry for this information. And people say to me, like, how long is it going to take for me to make money? I promise you it's going to take you a lot longer if you don't do the basics first. All right. So make sure you've got those basics down. All right. I see a lot of ones coming in. I love that. You're going to go through what is a lot size, pending orders, margins, time zones, all of these things. And some of them, I really, really advise you to get a notebook and take notes, all right? Because some of this stuff you're going to write down and it's not going to make sense. You're going to be like, okay, time zone, New York session. What the hell is a New York session? Am I going to New York? Why do I need New York session, right? But then you're going to start trading and realize, okay, actually, now I understand what New York session is. I know I trade in the New York session. So now I need to know about New York session, right? But you don't know that, first of all, when you first watch the videos because you're brand new. That's why you need to take notes. This notebook, I can't even stress to you guys, if I ever lost this notebook, I would be so lost. This is the notebook in 2019 that I first took my academy notes in. Can you guys see how it's still on my trading desk? Like, I can just pick it up and I can go, okay, let me just open to any random page. This page is about price action. This tells me what price action is. I can open a book here. This page tells me Forex Factory. Make sure you go to Forex Factory before you trade. I didn't even know what Forex Factory was when I wrote the notes, but I knew that it was something that I needed to continuously do. And if you don't write it down, it's not going to stick in your head. There's so many people that say to me, oh, you know, my trading goes well until the news comes. And I say, well, did you check Forex Factory before you traded today? Oh, no, I forgot to do it. Okay, well, these are the basics. These are the foundations that some of us are missing out on that are causing us not to be profitable or consistent. Okay, so tip, get a notebook, write your notes. You're going to come back to it and you're going to be grateful that you did. All right. Enter and trade on an Android, enter and trade on an iPhone. Like literally everything is here. What is a stop loss? How to set your stop loss, right? Now, all of this is gone over in the Go Lives, but in the Academy videos, it gives you the bare bones of it, right? Like, what is that? Chart setup on MT4. So many people have come to me like, oh my God, like, I didn't know that I could change the chart on the MT4. Yeah, we can do that. Wasn't even shady, God. That wasn't even shady. It's not just you, don't worry. But you know, if the shoe fits, you got to buckle it up and wear it sometimes, but it's not you, it's not. But listen, there's so many things that are in the academies that we can learn if we take the time to, you know, really, really go through them. And then you go 200 series, 300, and it goes on, right? So that's the first thing that I want you, if you haven't, take the time to go through your academies, all right? Secondly, now remember, we're looking at this purely from a Swipecoin Scalper point of view today, right? So we love Swipecoin, the trade ideas, but we're looking at it just from the scalper. However, you need to make sure you have your Swipecoin downloaded, your app downloaded on your phone, and you know, have it on your desktop as well if you do it mostly from your desktop. And then the next thing I want you to do is go to the videos on here. Again, so many people tell me I didn't know the Swipecoin app had videos, right? Go into the videos on here. Here's why. Go into the videos and you're going to see right here, fast start. You can change this. It will change on your one. You'll click English and fast start. You've got a DCX fast start guide here. You've got the Swipecoin app introduction, the website introduction, the scalper introduction, very important, alt-fi introduction, and how to calculate pips. Now, this is before you've even touched the scalper, right? And I know there's people that go straight onto the scalper and say, oh, I don't know how to use it. Of course you don't know how to use it because you haven't done the foundations in order to use it, all right? You can't literally just expect to log into this page and take a trade. That's not how it works, right? We have to do the foundations. So I'm telling you, this call might sting for some people. I'm not going to lie to you, but this call is necessary because I know people are going to have breakthroughs off of the back of this when they start using it. So after you've watched these videos right here, you can see fast start, fundamentals, right? So fundamentals is a little bit deeper. It takes you into, you know, what is mining, what is blockchain. You don't necessarily need that for the scalper, but I mean, if you don't know what Bitcoin is, they're good videos to watch. They're only, you know, 10 minutes each. But this fast start is really what you want to make sure that you've been through. So if you've been through the fast start videos, drop me an F into the chat. If you've been through the fast start videos, drop me an F into the chat. If you need to, drop me a 7 into the chat. If you need to go through them, drop me a 7. If you've been through the fast start videos, drop me an F. All right, I can see some mixed reviews on that one. All right, cool. So that's another homework for you guys to go through this weekend. All right, perfect. So number 1, the academies, right? Making sure that we've gone through our academy videos for DCX. Very important. Number 2 is our app videos. You can watch them on your phone or you can watch them on the desktop. It's up to you. And then thirdly, guys, you want to make sure that all your notifications are on, right? So your phone notifications are on your app, on your phone, okay? What is that going to allow you to do? Well, firstly, if we go here to the scalper chat, and please also understand, guys, that the scalper and Swipecoin are different. So the trade ideas that come from Swipecoin, that come from here, these are not the scalper trade ideas. All right. These are trade ideas by the educators with parameters to go for. All right. The scalper is trade ideas via an algorithm that's getting pushed out every time something lines up in the market. All right. Educators versus algorithm. Yes, Beckley. Thank you. Amazing. So how can the Swipecoin app help us then if it's not the same thing? Well, this beautiful thing right here called the scalper chat. The scalper chat is going to alert you when you get a new sell or a new buy idea for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay, you guys can see them here coming through. The last one we had was today, 8:45 a.m. was a sell idea, right? Everybody can see that. So this is not telling you to sell Bitcoin. This is telling you to go to Swipecoin Scalper and mark up your chart, right? Go and see if your confirmations are there to get in, right? You can also, there's also a, there's also a Telegram. I don't know how long that's going to be out for though, but for now, I'll say use this. But there is also a Telegram that does the same thing, that says when a new trade idea comes out and when new scalper ideas come out. All right, because a lot of people tell me, oh, I missed the trades. Well, you've got literally, you're walking around with the notification that tells you when new ideas are being called. Okay, so that's the scalper chat. All right, so let's get into the scalper now. Is everyone still with me? Drop me some 222s if everybody is still with me. Yes, so there is a Telegram channel. Let me just check when the last time it was posted in there. Let me double check. Because they've been closing a lot of them down because IM's going to have their own Telegram soon. Yeah, they haven't used it for a little while. Yeah, last post 18th of the 1st. Thank you, Emmanuel. Yeah, so they haven't used that for a little while. So let's just focus on the one that we know is pumping every day, right? So this came out today, 8:45. So we know the app is the most current, up-to-date thing that's telling us when the trades are popping, all right? So first thing we want to do, what is the first thing we want to do, 1801 this evening. I thought you meant 18th of the 1st, Emmanuel. That is jokes. I think that's the DCX Swipecoin one though, isn't it, where they say when the go lives are happening. I think that's a different chat. But yeah, let's push on. So what is the first thing we want to do before we go to trade? So the first thing we want to do before we go to trade, what is that? And we've done our mindset, we've prayed. What is the first thing that we are going to do before we get into the charts? Perfect. The news. We're going to check the news, right? If you didn't know that was the answer, please write down somewhere. I will check Forex Factory before I trade, right? When I first started, I had it on a post-it note like this, like literally on top of my laptop. So it said like check Forex Factory. So I knew to check Forex Factory, right? Especially guys, we are trading in the midst of a pandemic, a war, a recession. Like you need to check the news. We are trading in volatile times, okay? Thank you, Emmanuel. Emmanuel just dropped the link in there, forexfactory.com. So those of you that don't have it, it's going to bring you up to this page right here. Now, you guys can see, we'll leave it on Friday because Saturday, there won't be any news on there for us. But we are looking for red folders. Now, we are trading Bitcoin versus what? What is the pair we are trading Bitcoin with? What is the pair we are trading Bitcoin with? Perfect. The US dollar. So we are looking for US dollar red folders, right? US dollar red folders. So here you guys can see at 1:30, there was a US dollar red folder. You want to avoid taking entries at 1:30 using Bitcoin USD, using the scalper, because we are scalping. So if something in the news comes out and rocks the market, it's not going to follow the way that the market's already moving, right? So the market, the scalper is based on momentum. So if high momentum comes out going in the opposite direction, it's gonna muck up our trade, all right? So therefore, we want to avoid trading red folders whilst using the scalper. Okay, we all clear with Forex Factory? Drop me a FF in the chat if we are all clear with Forex Factory. We know we're going to check it every day before we take the trades. Perfect, 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 perfect. All right, let's get into it then. So the first thing you do when you come is you open up the Swipecoin Scalper. This is the page that you get, right? You have right here, let's close it down again, just in case you didn't see where I got it from, a question mark right up here, right? You're going to come to that question mark and you are going to watch this 4-minute video. Drop me some 4s in the chat if you've watched this video before, right? You've watched the video before. Drop me some 4s, right? It is 4 minutes. He's literally going to tell you how you use this scalper. Again, many people have opened this up, just taken a trade and then been like, whoa, I didn't know how to use it. In the words of Will Smith, like there is literally right there for you, right? The instruction is right there for you. Same thing with the alt-fi as well, right? So Mike Sotero has got a 5-minute video on how to use the alt-fi and what the alt-fi rules are. Like, guys, when I tell you, they really have put the blueprint here. Like, we just have to follow it, all right? We really, really do. So, oh, they got it in French.
Salut, je me présente Samuel Lévesque et je vous souhaite la bienvenue sur cette courte vidéo.
Nice. All right. So obviously we're looking at it in English, but we know for our Spanish and our French counterparts, we also have it in Spanish and in French, right? For the scalper. So let's go back to English. So we've got our three rules that we're going to go through in just a second, but please make sure, guys, that you take the time to watch this video. All right, so let's go through. So the first thing we're going to look for, right, the first thing we're looking for is, where is our last arrow? Where was our last call out, right? So we can either look here on the right hand side, and we can see that the last call out was Bitcoin at 9:45 this morning, like we saw from over there anyway. 8 hours ago, it was a sell, right? Red is sell, blue is buy. We can also see we've got a nice arrow right here that's telling us that this is a sell. Yeah, it's been selling for a long time, Beckley. Yes, it has. We've definitely been trending down, right? So let's give us some writing. All right, so the first thing that we want to look for is our break and close, and this time we're going to go through each one of these steps individually, right? Let's move this. Break and close. What is a break and close, right? A break and close is simply when the candle breaks the zone. So the zone is this green zone right here. It breaks the zone and the candle closes underneath the zone. Now, if you don't know yet about candles, you're going to watch your academy videos. But our red candles, our selling candles, they open at the top and they close at the bottom, right? Our red candles open at the top and they close at the bottom. Our green candles, they open at the bottom and they close at the top, right? Our green candles open at the bottom and they close at the top. So now when people say to you, okay, where did the candle close? You might be looking, thinking, well, what? I don't know what end the candle closes at. Now you know, right? The candle close. And these things, for me, sometimes you don't get it until somebody says it to you. You don't get it until somebody literally says, okay, the candle closes at the bottom, because you don't know what you don't know, right? How are we going to know what way the candle closes? Well, I promise, if you watch your academy videos, you're going to learn about candlesticks, right? But the red candles, they open at the top, they close at the bottom. So we want to see candles closing underneath this green zone. That would be a break and a close. And those of you that have been trading with Tosin understand break and close from her sessions as well, right? Does anybody not understand break and close? Put a SOS in the chat if you don't understand break and close, right? Put an SOS in the chat. I'm going to also give you a visual. Well, I mean, Tosin stole my visual. She'd be using it for indices now, but you know. All right. You guys can screenshot that if you haven't got it. All right, so what you're looking for on the Swipecoin Scalper, guys, when I tell you the resources are infinite in DCX, right? What you're looking for on the Swipecoin Scalper, right? Support and resistance and the break and close. Now, break and close is going to look like this for a buy, right? Because the candle opens where? At the bottom and it closes at the top. So this would be a break and a close. And then for the sell, the candle opens at the top and it closes at the bottom, right? Everybody good with that? Drop me some sevens in the chat. I want to make sure everybody's on the same level. We're all right here. We all know. And then we're going to do some examples after. All right. All right, and I don't see any SOSs, so we know that everybody on this call right now understands what a break and close is, right? Take a screenshot if you need to, pin this up. Like, this is literally a lot of people's strategy for trading is break and close. It's based off of the break and close. So if you can master, you know, really what a break and close is. And I'm not talking no little tiny break and close where just the wick closes above. It has to be the full body of the candle closing above, right? Or below, full body. All right, amazing. I see all 7s. So everybody is perfect with step number 1, break and close. So this candle right here, is this our break and close? Type me a yes or a no in the chat. Is this candle that I'm pointing to right here, is this our break and close candle? Type me a yes or a no in the chat. Yeah, amazing. All right, cool. Everybody said yes, right? So yes, we've got our arrow and then we have got our break and close. That's our first confirmation, right? Oh, please, what are you doing? All right, number 2 is our EMA. Now, our EMA is this orange line here. This is a 50 EMA. So if you're on TradingView, you wanted to put your EMA on there, it is your 50 exponential moving average. That is what this line is called. It's simply showing you the average of the last 50 candles, all right, behind it. That is what this indicator is. That's what it is. It's an indicator, right? Now, if the candles are below the EMA, it means that the price is trading below average. Therefore, we are looking for sells, right? So if the price is below EMA, we are trading below average. We are looking for sells. If the price is above the EMA, we are trading above average and we are looking for buys, right? You can see here, we've got a blue arrow. We was above the EMA. We would have been looking for a short buy, right? Below this one, this one all mixed up, right? We've got an arrow. We're above it. We're below it. It's not holding there. It's mixed up, right? This is why the Swipecoin Scalper is so powerful, because you have to have the free confirmations in order to take the trade. You don't have the free confirmations, you don't take the trade. Over, finish. All right, let's go back. So let's look. All right, pop quiz. Right now, are we below or are we above the EMA? This one should be an easy one. We're gonna weave in easy. Are we below the EMA or are we above the EMA, guys? Perfect. We're below the EMA. Right? You can see over here, we're clearly above the EMA, right? We've broken above it. We're above the EMA. We're looking for buys. So now we understand the EMA. That's our second confirmation. Now, price needs to be below the EMA to look for a sell, above the EMA to look for a buy. Now, our third one is our super trend. Now, the super trend is an indicator that we use. It's an extra confirmation. I love the super trend paired with the EMA and paired with the scalper. It's a really powerful tool. And all you do to get it is go to your indicators. You go SUP and it will come up there, super trend. Right? Now you've got the super trend on here. You're going to double click on it and you're going to change the settings to 1 and 1. You're going to change the settings to 1 and 1. right? Take a screenshot of it or write it down in your notes, do whatever you need to do, but you know you need to change it to 1 and 1. Don't need to change anything else, just that to 1 and 1. Right? Now the settings are changed, we can look at it. So we're going to come over here to our candles and we're going to change our candles to a line chart. Right? And we'll do that one more time. We're going to change our candles from candlestick to line chart. Now, you can see the blue line is price. Write that down, it's important. People often get confused and think these are both the super trend. The blue line is always price. The blue line is always the blue line. It doesn't change, it's just the blue line, it's just price, right? Now, the green and red line, this is one line, it's just changing color from green to red. And I'm going over this because this is some of the things that I was confused about when I first used the super trend. I thought it was 2 lines merging into this and I didn't know any of these things, right? It's just one line. It goes from green to red as the trend changes, right? So when the blue crosses over, right? When the blue crosses over the red, we are looking for sells. When the blue crosses over the green, we are looking for buys, right? And the more it is apart, the stronger they is, right? So you can see over here, this is clearly a red super trend and the price, right? They're apart. This is a strong sell. It didn't even come up here to even attempt to cross. So this right here is showing us very good confirmation for this sell right here. And we're going to go through this example in a second. This is also going to give you an indication of where, you know, you may want to get out of the trade when it crosses back to being green. All right. Because you know that buyers are entering into the market. Okay. It doesn't mean that that's your exit strategy. That's when you get out. But some people do use it to see, okay, the momentum is slowing down here, right? And you can see that this happened right here, right? It sold, and then momentum slowed down because buyers came into the market. So the confirmation for the trade, right, is if it's a sell, you want to see a red line. You don't want to see it red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green, all like this. You want to see a red line with your blue price, right? If it's a buy, you want to see the green line. Okay, so red for a sell and green for a buy. I thought it was 2 lines into one. Yes, Tracy. So we all did, right? So it's just one line. It just changes color from red to green as the price changes, right? And then the other line is price, the blue line, right? So if you understand the super trend, drop me some S's into the chat if we're all good with the super trend, because now we're going to go into examples on the chart, right? Any questions, you can drop them in. Amazing. So now when we're looking, so let's just take this back to candles for a second. And we'll leave the super trend on there. So when we're looking, when we come onto the Swipecoin Scalper, you're going to train your eye to very quickly look through these 3 confirmations to see if this is a trade that you want to be going in for. This is not a 9 to 5, guys. We're not coming here to study the chart for 20 hours and look at the confirmations. We're going to check off, does it meet number 1? Does it meet number 2? Does it meet number 3? So for this one here, wait, let me answer questions before we go into it. Still check the news at the weekends. Yes, because something may happen. If we look on here, there's nothing on here right now, so you can't actually see, but you can check Bloomberg. All right, you can check Bloomberg. Obviously, this is, you wouldn't see Bitcoin news on here because it's Forex news, right? But you can check Bloomberg to see you know, what's going on with the US dollar. Can you say again about the required distance needed between the lines? Yeah, so it's not a distance needed. It's just let me put it back to lines. It's just showing, it's going to show you that it's stronger the further away it is. So see over here, the red and blue is very close to each other. And then it's like it's very tight up, right? The red and blue it's riding on the EMA. It's going from blue to green. It doesn't really know what it's doing. Here, you can clearly see the red and blue are apart, right? And this is showing you strength in the market. This is showing you that it's not, I was going to use a T word, it's not attempting to cross over onto this to turn green. It's literally just falling, right? Like here, if price was slowing down, it could have, you know, come and attempted to turn green here, but it didn't. It pulled back and then it just kept falling down. Can you guys see that? Does that make sense? There's nothing there that's showing you any signs of weakness with the super trend. So that's what I was saying about the space. We don't want to see this where it's green to red, red to green. It's all holding up on this EMA. The further away it is from the EMA is also the more strong the trend is, right? So if I look at it on candles, can you see how price is far away from the EMA? It means this is a strong sell. When it's like this and the price is literally on it, riding on it, it's weak. It's either changing hands, so it's going from a sell to a buy, or it's weak as in it can't move. So I would have known not to buy here because it couldn't even get off of the EMA. Can you guys see that? It literally, it went up for like an hour and then it just came all the way back to that EMA and just rode on it. That's showing me weakness in the market. It's not showing me strength. Strength is this, when we get the break out and then look, can you see the strength? It's far away from it. Look here, weakness, right? It's just attached to it. Look here, this is consolidation. This is icky. We don't want to trade in consolidation. We want to trade breakouts. We want to trade this. See the break? Boom. It's huge. It's nowhere near this EMA. It's strong. This is strength, right? And then as it gets closer, breaks through again. And then obviously this is just huge movements in the market. There's clearly stuff happening here. But you guys understand what I'm saying. The further, and this happens over and over again. Look at this, right? We want the breakouts. These are thousands of pips, right? That this is catching before it even breaks. Look, the scalper's catching this before it even leaves this EMA. Yeah, look, let's look here. It called the buy here. It pushed off against it. It came back. It retested the EMA. But notice what it did. It didn't ever come and close back under the EMA. So it shows me strength in the buyers. These buyers are not weak buyers. They were just getting ready. How would I have known if they were weak? I would have known if they were weak if it started closing under this EMA, because it would have meant that the price was trading under the average price, but it never did that. Look, if we change this to a line chart, can you guys see that? Can you guys see how it literally just came, retested this? It just hung onto this line and then it shot up. That's showing me, and it never called the sell. Look, it never called the sell. Why didn't it ever call the sell? Because it never broke back below this 50 EMA, right? There was no reason for it to sell. People saw it here. They saw the super trend turn red and they was like, oh, I'm going to get in for this sell now. We're high. It sold down for maybe 100 pips, right? And boom, stopped out because the thing just ran. And this is why you need all three confirmations. You need the break and close, you need the EMA, which they never had here, and the super trend. You can't just trade off of one confirmation. All right. And I can show you this like over and over again in this market. Look, consolidation is just riding on this EMA. Yucky. We don't want it. We don't want it. What do we want? We want the sell under the EMA, red super trend. We want all of that, right? We want all of that. That's 1,000 pips. All of that. Do we want 130 pips? No, we don't, right? It's not even TP1, right? And this is what the Swipecoin Scalper does, is it catches breakouts. Oh, look. And when it catches them, like this one was even a little bit late, right? And this must have been a very impulsive move. But again, it still caught it before the rest of the drop. Look at this. Can't even get down there. Over 1,500 pips. Well, even more than that. Can't even, my screen don't even stretch down there, right? So those are our free confirmations. And look, this is back in the 1st of June. So I've identified, you know, so many just in this month alone, right? So let's go back to current price. Yeah, some of them are even on the same day. Right, so current price. So we come in, we look at the scalper, and this is already lined up for us. We don't even have to draw our own break and close mark, right? They've already drawn it for us. So the break and close is here. We've got our red arrow, and we know we're waiting for a break and close. That's our number one. We all just said this was the break and close candle. So do you enter on that break and close candle? I'm asking you guys. When the candle breaks, do you enter? Yes or no? When the candle breaks, do you enter? Yes or no? Right? No, exactly. I see it's a bit slower in the chat box though. Some of you thought I was trick questioning you, but you need to say it with your chest. No, you do not enter, because it's not break and trade. It's break and close, right? It is break and close. We wait. That's right, Sharon. So what do you have to do? You have to enter on the next candle. This is the start of the next candle. This is the opening of the next candle. So you should be entering trades then, guys, every 15 minutes. On the 15, on the 30, on the 45, or on the 00. Like a bus stop, or a train stop, or a tube. It will be a bit of a long tube. What's the long one? Piccadilly line, maybe. But you would be entering on the 15, the 30, the 45, or the 00. So what's the time now? It's 6:56. So when is the possibility for us to enter a trade? When's the next time? What time can we enter? Right. The next time we can enter a trade is 00, right? 7 p.m. for us in the UK. Right? 00 is the next entry time. Now, firstly, this is calling a sell, so we wouldn't be entering this trade. But we would then look and see, do we have our free confirmations? Now, I personally give myself 5 minutes to board said train. If you haven't made a decision to enter the train in 5 minutes, the train is going to leave without you. You cannot get on it. You know how TFL's got like 45 seconds before the doors close, right? The Swipecoin Scalper gives you 5 minutes. I think I am a bit obsessed with buses and trains. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's because my mum had me on a lot of them when I was younger, and I've got a I got a thing about them now, right? But I don't like buses and trains, guys. I'm a car girl. Anyway, you've proper thrown me off now. I'm thinking about buy stops and bus stops. Right, so we enter on the 15, the 30, the 45, or the 00. Okay, you have 5 minutes to decide whether you are getting on that train. if you miss that 5-minute window, you've missed the train. Wait for the next one. All right, the train's gone. We wait for the next one. You're not gonna hold on to the end of the train and let it pull you along, are you? No, you're not. You're just gonna sit there on the platform and you're gonna wait for the next one. All right, perfect. So now we all know these are the times that we're gonna enter the trade. Let's look. So from what we know, we would have entered on the entry of this candle, right? Sorry, not the entry. What am I talking about? The open of this candle. When this candle opened, we could enter the trade. Now, this trade, when even on this first candle, went 281 pips, right? From the open of this trade. Sorry, 270 pips from the open of this trade. Now, our first TP would have been 300, so we wouldn't have hit TP on this first candle anyway. That's fine. This is not hyper scalping. We are not going for TP in one candle. What we are doing is we're setting ourselves up for the move now. Now we know that we've got our confirmation. Well, do we? Let's look. So after this break here, do we have a break and close? Yes. Is the EMA in the right place? Yes or no? Is the EMA in the right place? Yes or no? For us to take a sell on this live trade? Yes, right? So that's 2. Is the super trends the right color for us to take this trade? Yes or no? Is the super trend the right color for us to take the trade? Yes or no? So how many out of 3 of the confirmations do we have? Is it 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, or 3 out of 3? Boom, you guys are on it, right? It's 3 out of 3. So this trade, we could have taken this trade. It's 3 out of 3. We have all 3 confirmations that tell us, okay, this is a good trade. Now, the problem is, and this is what I don't want you to think, that even though a trade has all 3 confirmations, doesn't mean that it's krypton. Like, it doesn't mean that it's Superman. It doesn't just mean that it's going to give you all of the pips. Some of the trades are still going to go the wrong way, and that's okay, because of what I'm about to show you is we have risk management with our trades. So we know that even if we lose a trade, we know we're going to take another trade and it's going to make up for it, right? But your 3 out of 3 trades are the ones that are the most likely to be profitable. They are the most likely. They have the most confirmations. So now let's line up our trades. So over here, you've got your long position and your short position, right? So we're going to sell. So we need short. Short for sell, buy for long, right? Short for sell, buy for long. So we're going to go short. And we're going to put our first entry right here on the open of this candle, because we would have bought out our MT4 and we would have gone to open our trade, right? Excuse me. Now, our stop loss can be 150 to 300 pips, right? Now, the pips you can see right here on this red bit of the risk to reward. So this is how many? Can anyone see it on the screen? How many pips is this? $263, right? So we can have this up to 300. Now, this is my personal way of trading the scalper, is I like to hide my stop loss above or below the EMA. So if we're selling, I like my stop loss to be above the 50 EMA, because the 50 EMA acts like a roof, right? It acts like a resistance. So it can come up to this 50 EMA and then it can continue going down on a pullback, like what you saw happen right here, right? Can you guys see that? The green can, I'm pointing at the screen like you guys can see me pointing at the screen. The green candles came up to the red super trend and then it continued down, right? That's called a pullback in the market, a correction. So I like to have my stop loss above the 50 EMA as another layer of protection before it hits the stop loss. Does that make sense? Yeah? Drop me a yes in the chat if I'm making sense to you. Right, so I'm going to have this just above it, right? So I could even have it at the 300 mark, right? That will give me, I'm nicely above, because remember, when we entered, we're right here. So we haven't seen this happen yet. So now we can look at this and say, you know, we'd have a much tighter stop loss, but this is hindsight. And hindsight's a great thing, but you don't have hindsight when you're getting into the live trade, right? So I would have had my 300 pip stop loss right there, tuck my stop loss right above that 50 EMA, and then I would have had my 300 pip take profit, right? Now this is, but like I'm talking beginner friendly right here, right? This is a 1-to-1 risk to reward, 1-to-1. Now as you progress in your trading, you're going to be aiming for a minimum of 1-to-3s, right? 1-to-2s, 1-to-3s. But when you're first starting out, it's a lot easier to calculate your risk to rewards with 1-to-1s because you can do it very quickly, right? 300, 300. Now, what I do is I will split my risk between these 3 positions. So I will have 3 positions right here of the same entry, right? 300 pips. The second one is 600 pips. So what risk to reward is 600 pips if my stop loss is 300? It's a 1 to what? Perfect. It's a 1-to-2. You guys are getting it, right? So this one is a 1-to-2, which I would have hit. And then this one would have been 900. Let's move this over. Right? Which we can see that it has not hit, right? So now looking at this, if this one's 300, this one's 600, this one's 900, and I've put on all 3 of these trades at the same time, so far in this live market, how many of these trades have hit take profit? I've hit 2 TPs, right? How many pips have I secured? Oh, we got some different numbers coming in here. This is going to be interesting. How many pips have I secured? Okay, we've got some interesting numbers. Some people are saying 600. Some people are saying 900. Some people are saying 600. Some people are saying 900. You guys are really fighting in this chat box, isn't it? 600. The good fight. You guys are fighting the good fight. Okay, so let's talk about it. My first take profit, I got 300 pips. My second take profit, I got 600 pips. So therefore, I got 900 pips, right? Shout out to everybody that said 900 into the chat. That's right. TP1 was 300 and TP2 was 600. So I secured there 900 pips, right? So can you guys see now how even though this one didn't hit take profit, I've still secured 900 pips. And if this one comes up and hits break even, nothing happens, right? Nothing happens. I can either close this trade now and be 900 add 500 and have 1400 pips, or I can allow it to run and it will either hit break even or it will hit another 900. Therefore, I would have secured 1800 pips from this little move. Is anyone picking up what I'm putting down right now? Right? How I'm managing to secure money out of the scalper. Right? Is anyone picking up what I'm putting down? Now, what you do want to do is, once you have hit take profit 1, you are going to move your stop losses on these 2 trades down to break even, to your entry point. So even if these trades come back, the minimum you've secured is 300 pips. So you have never lost anything and you secured 300 pips. As you get more advanced, you will learn to trail your stop losses down as you are scalping on your last position, right? What does that mean? It means you're going to continue to move your stop loss down as the trade moves down, all right? Because there's only 2 things that's going to happen right now. This thing's going to pull back to the EMA and then it's going to continue to go down. Therefore, it will not hit my stop loss because my stop loss is at break even right now. So then I will hit, you know, my extra 900 pips, or it's going to come up and it's going to hit my break even point. They're the only 2 things that can happen. Like, I cannot lose on this trade now. And let's be honest, it wasn't, let's look. So from here down to its lowest point, it didn't even go 900 pips. It did, hold on. 850, where's 900? Yeah, it went 850 at its lowest point, right? And I'm not sitting here staring at the Swipecoin Scalper on a Saturday afternoon while it's hot outside to secure 600 pips. I'm not doing it, right? We don't need to, because we have a strategy, but we need to implement the strategy. So by moving to break even, you take away your risk, right? And your risk to reward is always there for you. So if one of your trades does hit the stop, then you know on your next setup, you know, you may want to take some profits. You may want to close, I may want to close this trade now to say I wanted to make up for some profits. I could close this trade. I can always close the trade if I want to. I have that option. But if I want to just, you know, if I'm setting it and forgetting it, I don't even know that I've hit 2 take profits. I haven't even looked at it. Right? And it's still floating in profit and moving downwards. So this is how I'm using the scalper to take trades and to capitalize on the pips, right? Because how many of you guys know this scalper produces more than 300 pips at a time? It usually, when the breakouts happen, is hitting 1,000 pips. That is crazy. Right? This is why we're avoiding trading these consolidations, because we want these moves. That's 1,166 right there. We want the big moves, guys. And that would be your 300, your 600, and your 900. Boom, boom, boom. 3 trades, done, in, out. Lovely. Right? Does that make sense? Any questions so far? Any questions so far? How can you trail your stop loss if you are not watching the chart? You don't. So if you're not actively trading, so trailing your stop loss is something scalpers do. So a scalper will trade their stop loss. And if you're scalping, you are watching the chart. You're definitely watching the chart. So if you're looking to scalp, then you'll trail your stop loss. But if you're not doing that, you don't. Yeah, you don't. So you can have intervals where you'll look at your trades. Like some people, look at their trade and say, okay, once it gets to the next point, I'm going to move down my stop loss. Yeah, so Bekele, that's a good share. Bekele says, I have an alert for TP1 and then I adjust it. So you can also, let's do that before we wrap up actually, so it's in the video. So you can also optimize trading view. Even if you have the free trading view, you can put, you've got one free alert, right? Now you can do this on your phone or on your laptop, and all you're simply going to do is use this horizontal line. I like to put a star on it, so then it's always there for me. You click on the horizontal line and you're going to click where your TP1 is. So say that's my TP1 right there. All you're going to do is you're going to double click on it to move it. So say my TP1 was 26,500. I click in 26,500. I'm going to make it blue for take profit. I'm going to change it to being a flat line. Right? And you're going to click OK. Now you can either right click on the line, or here you can click this alarm button. Either way, and you're going to click add alert, right? You're going to click add alert, and it's going to say create an alert on Bitcoin when it is crossing the horizontal line. Okay. Now you can get fancy with it and say whether it's crossing up or crossing down. So you can, if you're looking for a sell, you're going to be looking for it to cross down. If you're looking for a buy, you're going to be looking for it to cross up, or you can just have crossing on it and it doesn't matter if it crosses either way. Okay. You don't change any of this stuff. Make sure that you've got notify on the app, so it notifies you on your TradingView app. And then you can even put an alert, a name. So you can say move stop loss, right? And you could put on here TP1 hit, move stop loss. And then you're just simply going to click create. Continue. And then over here, you're going to see a little alarm clock come onto the line on TradingView. And now that's going to alert me. You guys can see right here, that's going to alert me when that has hit. I'm going to get an alert on my phone. I'm going to get an email. I'm going to get everything. Right? And it's going to tell me to move my stop loss. Does that make sense? Yeah? Amazing. So, any other questions? Any questions so far? Yes to questions, or yes, it makes sense? Hopefully that's yes to it makes sense and not yes to questions. Any questions? You're welcome, Dan. Brother Dan, nice to have you on. Yes, the alerts are a game changer. Should you always wait for scalper chat alert for what direction is a buy or a sell? So when you get further advanced, I call these before the Swipecoin calls them now. So I know when this comes, breaks my 50 EMA, and I can see some structure over here. Once it's broken that, I know this thing will call a buy. So I can preempt when the buys are going to come now, because I've literally studied this tool so much. I can call it before the scalper calls it. I do it for fun sometimes with Tara. I'll literally text her and be like, scalper's going to call a buy. And then the scalper will call a buy in the next 15 minutes. And she'll be like, yeah, it's a game, right? But you can preempt it by using it a lot, because all it is when the algorithm is triggered by the candles closing above the 50 EMA and then above a structure point, right? So you can see there's structure over here, and all this is structure. So let me put it onto a line chart so it makes sense. So look, we're going to delete the super trend off. Let's clear this. Good question. So structure is where the market has made a level of supply or demand, right? Support or resistance. That's all structure is. So this is structure. This green line is structure. This green zone is structure in the market, because the market has made a level here of support, right? And we know it's made support because price comes down and then it bounces off of it, right? It's just like a floor. If you had a bouncy ball and you bounce the ball, it would come down, it would hit the floor, and it would bounce back up. That's how you know structure's here. The way that you can tell that something has very good structure is if it does it in both directions. So I mean by that, if you look underneath here, let's zoom into this one. I can see a piece right here, right? Underneath it, it bounced. Say you throw the bouncy ball up at the ceiling now, it's going to hit the ceiling and bounce back down. Can you see that? So it's hit the ceiling, bounce back down here, and it's hit hit the floor and bounce back up here. This is structure. This is what they would call a piece of key structure, because it is both resistance and support. And that's how we know it's good structure, when something is both resistance and support at the same time. Here, you can see it broke through the structure. That means that the structure is getting weaker. So what does that mean? If a support is getting weaker, we know the buyers are not holding this. There's no buyers here anymore to buy it up to make the ball bounce. So what do we know is going to happen now? It's going to sell, right? Because it's broken through the ceiling. Imagine you throw the ball so hard, it hit. I've gone from buses to balls. You throw the ball so hard, it hits the floor and it breaks through the floor. It's going to bounce up again, and then it's going to smash straight back through that floor, and then it's going to go down. And that's exactly what has happened right here in the market. So I don't know. Personally, I like to liken things down to really basic so I can understand them. But this is the easiest way that I can share with you structure, is simply floors and ceilings, right? Supports and resistance are simply floors and ceilings in the market. And we can take this over and over again. So you can literally look right here. Look, if we get a horizontal line right here, we can see there's structure right here, right? Let me make this a bit bolder so you guys can see what I'm talking about. It's not really the line that I wanted. Oh yeah, it's better. Right, so can you guys see how this is a structure, right? It's pulling down, it bounces off of it. It's pulling down, it's bouncing off it. It's pulling down, it's bouncing off of it. Pulling down. This is making structure right here, right? It has a couple of times where it pulls through it, but then it comes straight back, right? But it's getting weaker every time that it does that. So over here, the buyers are in control. It can't even make it to the floor over here, right? But over here, you can see it starts spending a bit more time down here, a bit more time down here. And then it finally breaks through. And now you know that that floor is penetrated now. That floor is It's not a good floor anymore. So the next time it comes up, we know that we're expecting a big drop off. What happens? A big drop off, right? Zoom, the thing drops. And you even saw it from over here. As soon as this penetrated the floor, the next time it came up and came back down to it, it did it again. The next time it came back up down to it, it did it again. It had a drop off right here, came back up, but it's always going to return back to this because this is where the structure is. This is where the safe place is. But once the sellers can break through the safe place, once they can break through the support, and the support just simply means that there's buyers there waiting to buy it back up, buy it back up, buy it back up. Once the buyers are exhausted and there's no more buyers, there's now just sellers. So now it's going to drop because all there is sellers, right? So this is how you can start to really understand, and you'll be able to start to trade Bitcoin like within consolidation as well. Like I can now trade Bitcoin. We can, get it like this, and I can trade it in this part now. So not in the breakout, but in the consolidation. I can trade it from, once I've got a few points of resistance, I know that I can trade it between this point and this point because it's just bouncing between these two zones. It's bouncing between these two zones. It's bouncing between these two zones. And then there'll be more zones within the zones, right? We can see another one right here. Yeah. Resistance right there, right there, right there, right there. You can literally see it curve where it can just point blank stop. But now let me show you something, why it's really important to use your line charts and your candles. Because if I change this to candles, look at this. Right? Now you're looking back at it. There's places where this did come under here, but it never closed under here. And if it doesn't close under here, the price has been bought straight back up. This is not a breakout, right? Look at this right here. This big wick, it broke through that support. But if we change now back from here to line, doesn't even look like there's anything there. You wouldn't even know. Wouldn't even know that it came near that support, right? Because it got bought straight back up. So I know the buyers are strong here, right? Change it back to candles. Oh, looks like if you were looking at this live, you might have been thinking, oh, we're going down now. We've broken that. We're going down. Same thing here, right? Look at this here. Had a little break right there, but then we had a huge impulse move. This is big money right here. This is big money entering the market. It literally stopped right there and then smashed straight back through. This has taken out the sellers and the buyers in one move, literally with these candles. And this just goes on and on. Look, you guys will be able to see it over and over again. Right here, like the zones will just carry on playing out over and over again. You see over here, where this once was the floor, over here is what? Over here is the ceiling. Let's change it back to the line chart. And I didn't even look over here in the chart before I drew this, right? We drew this because of what? We drew this because of this. Look at this. See this support, 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 support. We carry on dragging it to the left. This is why you always look left. What is it over here? It's resistance, 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 resistance. This is why back testing, which is just looking left in the market and looking at how your strategy would have worked out in past terms, is really important, right? Look at this. Could I have made this up? Like, look how on the mark this is to this line right here. Look at this right here. Look how far back. We're in the 2nd of June. Look at this, 1st of June. again, like, guys, I literally, I can't make it up. Like, it's literally, you can just scroll back. And if obviously we haven't been at 30,000 for a while from before that, but if I carry on going, you'll just carry on running into the same thing over and over again in the market, right? You'll literally just be able to mark it up. So like, I can do it just blindly, right, from my eyes. Look, I can see it already. Look, it's right there. Look at this. This is the resistance. That's the support. That's the structure. That's where it is. That's the resistance. That's the support. I can literally just see it now because I've just stared at these charts for so long. Like, look over here. I mean, it's just over and over again. Look, I really just can't make it up like anymore. Like, I just can't. It's just understand that the scalper is just such a powerful tool, but you have to come and you have to do the work and draw the lines and look back on it. Look, this is the 20th of May. It's the same structure over and over and over again. Look, oh my God, look, these are our top lines. Look, 19th of May, guys. 19th of May is still playing in these same zones. Look at this. 17th of May. I don't even know how far. Look at this. 15th of May. Like, how far you want to take this back, guys? Like, just these 3 lines that we've marked up on the, what's the date today? The 11th of June. That's over a month ago, is still in these same zones. You can literally just be riding this thing up and down, up and down, up and down for the last month, guys. Right? Look at it. It's literally bang on the money. Can you see how it respects zones so thoroughly? Like, Bitcoin really does just respect zones so much. Anyway, I've gone on a bit of a tangent, but you guys know what I'm saying. Have you guys found this helpful? Have you guys found value in this? I hope you guys have. I hope this has helped. And I really, really hope some of you guys are going to come and put some time into the scalper, because there's money to be made on this thing. Like, literally, I've just shown you by marking up, 4 lines on it that I've just done from my blind eye. And you guys can come and do the exact same thing to it. And not all the time you're going to get the supply and demand zones like 100% correct, but you're going to be able to go back on this and look and say, okay, I should have moved this down a bit, or this is where I should be coming out now. So now I know that this is such a strong place in the market here. This was even more of a confirmation for me once we broke this zone for me to take this sell, because I've back tested it now. I've looked at it, right? So that's the same thing. Once we get back into this zone here, and we're back above the 50 EMA, my super trend's on. Once we've broken this zone, I'm looking for that buy, right? You're not looking for the move for the next 3 months on the scalper. You're looking for the move for the next, couple of hours. So make sure that you take some time this weekend whilst the market, the Forex market is sharp, gold sharp, indices is sharp. Give the old bay Bitcoin some attention, some love and attention. I think it deserves it. And use the Swipecoin Scalper. So with that being said, I know we've gone a little bit over. I do apologize. I do respect you guys' time, but I wanted to make sure that I fitted everything from the scalper into this session. And if you're really serious about this, right, I'm going to set you guys a piece of homework. All right. So this is where some of you guys go and jump off and be like, oh, I'm gone. But some of you guys I know are going to do it. So your homework, guys, is to mark up the next trade idea that you see that comes out of Swipecoin. So it doesn't matter if you miss this next one, but the next one that you see that comes out, mark it up with your confirmations and put it into the DCX section in Discord, right? So your free confirmations and mark up your support and resistance. All right. If you guys are here for the homework, I want you to put a HW in the chat so I know who I'm going to be looking out for, because I will be looking at them and I'll be able to give you feedback on them as well. So if you're going to do the homework, and no wink management, guys, if you're not going to do it, don't put the HW in, it's fine. But if you are serious about your progression with the scalper, then I would really encourage you guys to use it. And this is a way for me to help you guys keep you accountable. So with that being said, the last thing I want to share with you guys is Mr. Sean Oguntosin, who does the scalper sessions. And he will actually give out the numbers, guys. He will give out the numbers for the buy and the sell 3 times a week, right? Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, he gives out the numbers for the buy and the sell. It is midnight, but I know most of you guys are up midnight anyway. On Mondays, he does it very slowly. He does a very beginner's course. But on Tuesdays and Thursdays, he calls them Scalper Tuesdays and Scalper Thursdays. He literally does it fast, right? It's within an hour. So you're off the call by 1 and you'll have the numbers, the break and close numbers for the buy and for the sell. All right. So if you are still struggling a little bit, I would really suggest next week you take the time to go on to Sean's session. I know some people do actually watch them the next morning because they haven't gone yet. Obviously, that's a risk that you run because the move might have happened. But if it hasn't happened, then you've still got a chance to get in. But he will give you the number for the buy and the sell 3 times a week. All right. So let me stop sharing this. I'm going to stop recording.